Hey everyone, it's Erica. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a process video for the Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L creative team, and I'm going to be creating a 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. I have already backed this cut file with papers from a collection by Rosie Studio, and I've adhered the pieces together with some liquid glue, and I'm going to take my favorite foam adhesive from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. This is a great thickness. I absolutely love it. I'll leave it linked down below for you. This is what I use to put all over the back of my cut files to give it a little bit of lift and dimension on the layouts. So I'm going to put that all over the back of this cut file and then adhere it down to a piece of white cardstock, and then start to get working on my layout. I am going to use my Easy Ground runner, which is my favorite runner. I have this one and this one, which I keep on my desk and I use all the time. And then for smaller ones, I use this one here. And I'll make sure that I leave all the adhesives linked down below for you guys, so if you want to check them out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, put the foam adhesive all over the back, and then start working on the layout.
So I'm going to start off the layout by adding foam adhesive all over the back of the backed cut file. I have this foam here from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L, and I just cut strips of it. I cut like a really long strip off first, and then I'll just cut smaller strips to fit the Christmas trees until I have the full cut file backed. And then I do cut even thinner strips of this, so I'll cut a piece off and then just cut thin strips to add to the smaller pieces of the cut file, just so that I have nothing that is like hanging down or is like indented. So everything has a piece of foam behind it and it's nice and popped up on the layout. And I'm going to adhere it to a piece of white textured cardstock that I'm going to trim down to 11.5 by 11.5. I will mat that onto a piece of the pattern paper from the Very Merry collection. And you'll notice on the red pattern paper that I have taken a square from the inside of this pattern paper just so that I can use that one on another project. And I do that often when I have only one sheet of something, or if I have a pattern paper that I really, really love that I want to use as a mat, but I also want to use some of the inside of that 12 by 12 paper. This is just a great way for me to save the pattern paper. So you'll see that here in just a minute. So I have that cut file all backed, and I'm going to go ahead and trim down the white cardstock. You'll see when I add this cut file to the white textured cardstock, I only remove a couple pieces of the foam tape backing on the center. So like the two center trees, I'll remove the backing from those foam pieces. I'm going to take my sweatshirt and remove some of the sticky and then kind of position that cut file on the white cardstock where I want it to go. And that will push down to stick it down to the layout, and then I'll go back in and remove some more of the backings. And I do that all the time with my layouts. It's just easier for me in case I mess up and I don't center it where I want it to go. It's easier for me to remove that cut file with an adhesive that's not super sticky. There I am removing some of that sticky, and I'm going to be able to move this around and get it positioned where I want, and then I go back through and then remove the backing pieces. This is just a tip that I share with everyone I can, because if you were to imagine removing all those backing pieces and then trying to stick it down and not getting it positioned where you wanted it to go, and then trying to pull that up off your layout, it would be a total mess. And more than likely, you're going to rip your cut file. There I'm just showing you the dimension that foam adhesive gives, and it's the perfect amount of lift there on that layout, and I absolutely love it. It just gives it the right amount of dimension, and then I can still add even more dimension to the layout without this layout being super bulky, and it'll still fit into the page protector perfectly. So I have my picture. I'm going to trim it down. I have it matted onto a piece of pink polka dot pattern paper, and I just used my tape runner to get that stuck down. And then I am going to temporarily adhere this to this red cardstock, and I just used the runner there from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. Removed a little bit of the sticky so it was repositionable, and then I'm going to trim this down. Then I'm going to remove the photo and then take some of the foam creative sheets and cut a square of the creative sheets to put on the back of the photo. And this, I can create the perfect size foam backer piece for my photo. So it's going to be the perfect square, and it's going to cover just about all of that back of that photo. So I will have no sagging, and I don't have to cut a whole bunch of little strips. I can just cut this one big square, and it makes things so much easier. And then I'm going to get this positioned onto the pattern paper, and it's perfect. I just love using like the big squares like that for backing photos. I do adhere this directly to the layout using my small runner here from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L, and I'm going to get that positioned down onto my layout. And then when I create my clusters around my photo, I can use foam adhesive to get them popped up on the layout. I do want to create a little bit of a cluster up here at the top left corner, and I'm going to use this ephemera piece that says the Seasons of Happiness, and I'm also going to add a few other embellishments around there just to have something up here at the top corner. I'm going to start this cluster out with this adorable little reindeer, and I'm going to pop this one up with double foam tape. So I'm going to take that same foam adhesive that I used to back the cut file, but just layer it up so that it is even higher than the photo. And that's going to start off the embellishment cluster. And then I'm just going to tuck things in around that reindeer. So I have this little tree that I'm going to tuck in here. That's going to get adhered directly to the layout. But I do tuck in a piece of foam adhesive like to the top of the tree. So the top of the tree kind of sticks out, but the bottom piece is stuck directly to the layout. I have a little floral cluster here that I'm going to add to the top left of the photo. And then also I like to add things to the top photo, like some tabs and labels, and then I will add some layers at the bottom right corner of the photo as well, and you'll see that here in a little bit. There were some frames, and you can see those laying on my desk up above the layout. I like to cut those in half and just kind of layer them into my embellishment clusters just to add some interest and just different layers around the photo. I have this die cut of presents, and I'm going to add some of the foam adhesive from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L and get that tucked in here behind the reindeer. And I just used one layer of adhesive, so it's dimensional, but the reindeer is still popped up more than the photo. So I just love like the layered look of that. And you'll see in the close-ups what I'm talking about. You'll be able to see the different heights of the embellishments there to the right of my photo. I want to tuck in a little candy cane. So I use the dual tip pen to stick down the bottom of the candy cane. So I just added glue to the bottom of the candy cane. And then at the top, I use a little bit of foam adhesive just so that the top of that candy cane is popped up. Adding a little word sticker here with the dual tip pen that says joyful. And then here is one of those frames. I'm going to tuck it in here at the top, but I'm going to end up putting it to the top left of the photo where I have that little floral cluster, just to add a little bit of something behind those greenery pieces. And then at the bottom, I'm going to add some layers as well. And then I also have a little banner sticker that says warmest wishes. This is just going to bring in some of the green, the red, and the pink to that little corner, just a little bit of interest down there. And I kind of tuck it in under the reindeer, and you'll see that here in a minute. I'm going to use this dual tip pen. I love that this glue is clear. And then just create that little bit of cluster there under that reindeer. All the adhesives that I use will be linked down below. So if you're interested in anything, you can check out all of the products that I'm using. The Very Merry collection is super cute. I've created a few different projects with this collection. So you can head on over to my Instagram and check them out. If you are new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. And if you are new, let me know in the comments. And then I will also leave links to my Instagram and my Facebook if you're interested in checking me out there. Adding in some of this holly up here to the top left and then in that bottom right corner. Just to add some more greenery to the layout. And then still trying to figure out what to do with this other half of the frame. And then I'm going to end up tucking it in right there to the left. So I'll have some there to the left and then some in the bottom right corner. I do end up putting, a word sticker at the bottom of the photo on the right, and it says best day of the year. This photo was Christmas morning, and everyone was in the living room getting ready to tear open their gifts, and I snapped a photo really quick, super early in the morning. I have my older kids, they all are dating, so their boyfriends, girlfriends were there as well, opening Christmas gifts, and we had a full house, and it was really fun. It was before everything was opened up, and I totally forgot to take a photo of like the aftermath, like with all the paper. I always try to do that as well, like all of the wrapping paper and all of the boxes and everything, like all over the living room, because it's just a great photo. And I forgot to take one this year, but I did take one before the madness happened. So that is what my layout is all about. Just to finish it up, I have some of the enamel dots that I add to the layout, and then that pretty much finishes it up. I will have still shots at the end so you guys can check it out. And then if you head on over to the Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L blog, you can check out even more photos and get a better look at the close-ups of the layout and all of the dimension on this layout. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I will leave everything linked down below for you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you guys all have a great week, and I will see y'all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.